Hello again. Switching things up. I'll jump through that. Different background, different camera, and different microphone. I'm actually not crazy about the camera, but I think this setup works a little bit better for now. The real issue is I need to start spending some money on this stuff, invest in it like one would a hobby. But there's an article that I read on main character syndrome, which is definitely more of a social media kind of TikTok trend thing in terms of communication with oneself and communication with, well, interaction with the world around us. But this article written in Psychology Today by, I believe, their editor, Kaja Perina, is interesting, very short and succinct. And there's gonna, I think, maybe two standout things that I want to address with it. But if you're not familiar with main character syndrome, it's the tendency to view yourself as the main character of life. And this is both true and not true. You may have also heard, if you know this, the term of calling someone an NPC. This was trending for a while with calling someone an NPC, and then there was a specific NPC image, a kind of meme image that went around as well, and it was used as an insult. NPC standing for non-playable character. In video games, it's someone you do not play as and is just there to move your story along or just to fill the world. They're cookie cutter, they have no personality, they don't think for themselves, is the idea behind that. But in reality, everyone is the main character. I know one of the most fascinating things for me, it's both cool and scary at the same time, is I have lots of moments where I look at someone and just acknowledge you are your own person. And some people might hear that and be like, obviously, you should look at people that way and not objectify them. But I mean that in a layer deeper of like, this person has struggles and they have things that bring them joy and they have goals and they have things that they're working on. They have a history and all these things that I don't know or understand, and they have inner workings in their mind. And take my wife existence for example. My wife does exist. I probably know her better than I know anyone, and I think vice versa. But I'll still look at her just when I'm doing my own thing and she's doing her own thing and be like, I don't know what's going on in her mind. Like she is the main character of her story. Like we are focused, we're always present with ourselves. Even people we are obsessed with, we will still spend more time with ourselves than with them. Even if we're blocking true self and identity in there, we're always with ourselves. And so I'll sometimes look at her and be like, she's just going about life. And I don't really know what that looks like inside. I have a good idea, but I don't ultimately know. Even people who are really good at guessing these things don't ultimately know what's going on in someone's inner workings and what makes someone who they are. So, to come back around, this article has a very, very good paragraph, a couple sentences here that I want to read. So, I'll read it verbatim. We are at the center of our own lives, and yet life is not about us. It consistently reminds us that the more we focus on the latter fact, as opposed to the former, the better off we will be. So we are at the center of our own lives, but life is not about us. The more we focus on the fact that life's not about us, the better off we'll be. It's a might seem dichotomous in some sense, but we are the main character of the story that we live. But if we make that the true north of our experience, we'll miss the whole point. It's this cool duality that being able to experience the world through how we help others and are present with others is the more important part. And when you think about film and you think about any story that you're engaging with, most of us don't like that main character who is only focused on themselves. We don't like that. The main character who acts like they're the main character in their interactions with other people. I think Aragorn from Lord of the Rings is a good example of that. And he's easily, arguably not the main character, but his focus is very other oriented. I think his story is especially important when you think of his slight spoilers for Lord of the Rings, if that matters. His ancestry and his route to being king, um, and not so much a reluctance towards it, but this focus on others first, regardless of the role he's supposed to play. He puts other people first and is very main character vibe, to put it that way, but make sure that other people have that experience too of themselves when he's in a relationship with them. You think about people who are really good at making you feel good and the power that they hold, they make you feel important, they make you feel interesting, they make you feel smart. That goes way further than trying to come off as the main character and trying to come off as the important one. So, not that I have to explicitly tie all this back to mental health every single time, but I know I've said in here before, if you want to manage some low levels of depression, help other people. The more that we make ourself the center of the universe, the more burdensome stress we will get. If we can make life about other people and not in this hyper caregiving, I can't set boundaries, I'm only ever helping other people way, but this selflessness of I want to engage with other people and make their life better. Not to my own destruction, maybe sometimes to my own detriment, not in an unhealthy way, but I'm going to sacrifice, but not to our own destruction because we have to be healthy and safe enough to continue helping others. So if I'm putting myself in situations where I'm burning out or risking death, even, will that take away from my ability to help more people in the future? So they balance out. But I love the article. I love that line. And just an encouragement to consider how you balance those things of you're the main character of your own story, but the story itself isn't about you. So I think that's important. I'll leave it there.